WCBI News at 10 starts now.
School has been in session for just over a month, but some students in Noxubee County are already facing a major test. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Quentin Smith. B.F. Liddell and Virgil Jones Jr. Elementary School will close their doors for good next month. State-appointed Superintendent Rod Brodnax is calling this move a financial one. We caught up with a parent who has a child that attends Virgil Jones Elementary School. She says this decision is devastating, and it now leaves her with more questions than answers.
We have a lot of teachers that work closely with our students here, and they have to get reacquainted with something else in a different environment. So I'm going to participate with the change. It's just that I hate it. It has to change.
Students from both schools will now move into Earl Nash Elementary School in Macon. B.F. Liddell and Virgil Jones Jr. Elementary Schools will officially close on October 5th. The drive to consolidate the Chickasaw County courthouses in Okolona and Houston will now have to go through Jackson. On Tuesday, supervisors learned that any effort to merge the two would have to start in the state legislature. Now, supporters of the plan delivered petitions earlier this month asking the board to consider the idea. Board Attorney Gary Carnathan researched the possibility and found cases that ruled supervisors did not have the power to make courthouse consolidation decisions. So far, no word yet on if the group behind the consolidation push will try and get a bill passed in Jackson. The Magnolia State is receiving several $1 million in grant money for community health centers. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith made the big announcement today. 18 community health centers all across the state will receive a little more than $5 million in federal funding. That money will go towards several things, including starting and expanding treatments for opioid and substance abuse. Access Family Health Services in Smithville will receive over $250,000 of that money.
We'll be able to reach people that are really at the end of their rope because they're, the supplies tightening, all the providers are nervous. Nobody wants to lose their license, but at the same time, you have people that have legitimate pain issues.
Summerford says the grant money is very timely with the ongoing opioid crisis. A tip leads to a dogfighting bust in Monroe County today. Sheriff Cecil Cantrell says deputies got a call this morning about dogs being tied up at the end of a field on Conway Drive. When they arrived, deputies found 9 pit bulls tied up and a bait dog with no water and little food. Cantrell says dogfighting equipment, along with needles and horse medicine used to help the dogs build muscle, was also seized. They also found skeletal remains of several other dogs. Deputies are now looking for Cedric Ford as a person of interest in this case.
He had tires hanging from trees, and those tires next to the dogs where they could bite them and pull them. Also had a bait dog, had a little beagle out there. They take that beagle and they put it up to the other dogs, and they get him to where it'll fight them, but they turn the dog loose and they kill the bait dog. That's actually what they do.
And the recovered dogs will now be taken to surrounding animal shelters. Well, it is now time to turn our attention over to weather. Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson is standing by with a first look at our forecast. Keith?
Quentin, just like summer out there today, here's our Alpha Insurance time lapse from West Alabama at Durham's Pharmacy in Vernon. Some friendly clouds and just looked and felt like summer today. We had some record highs in the region. Right now we are cooling on down into the low and mid 70s, even a few upper 70s too. So mainly clear, nice and mild, and our lows today upper 60s to around 70. Quite comfortable. The air is relatively dry, so at least it's not that bad. Mid 90s likely in the region here for our Thursday as we check out the next 24 hours. And here's your city by city forecast. About 92 to 96 here for our Thursday, and then a little bit cooler by the end of the week and the weekend. More in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Keith. A donation drive to help people impacted by Hurricane Florence is now underway in Starkville. Southwire has a truck parked at Walmart to collect canned goods, cleaning supplies, baby supplies, and other necessities for storm victims. People started dropping off donations this morning.
We'll be here from today till 7 to 7, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we're trying to fill 2 trailer loads to send to North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia.
And just last year, Southwire sent supplies to the Houston area after Hurricane Harvey. Well, an Aberdeen man's life changed this evening after the community comes together to build him a new wheelchair ramp for his home. Our Riley Livingston joined workers and family members to find out what all went into this project.
Cleveland Brown's life changed almost a year ago. He underwent surgery to amputate his leg and since then has been in a wheelchair. This week, with the help from Home Depot's Team Depot project, his house is undergoing some change as well to make Brown's new life a little easier.
It means a whole lot because I enjoyed it. I'm glad they decided to come and do it for me because people have been saying they were coming, but when they said they were coming, I believed them. And when I looked up and seen them, I was glad to see them when they came out.
A new wheelchair accessible ramp is the highlight of the 2-day build.
Oh, it's always fun when you're helping somebody. We come out, we get notified from someone in the community who lets us know that someone needs help. Get some of our workers up together and then just get a grant approved for them. And then we come out and do the work.
Team Depot works to improve the quality of life for people in the community.
Well, a lot of people, it's new to them. For me, it's having a heart to help people out. There's people that aren't able to help themselves in this regard. And we've got talents, so I like to share those talents.
It's more than just a home improvement project for Brown.
If he has a situation where they need to get him out of the home, they have a way to get him out of the home. So if a house fire was to happen, we wouldn't want to know the outcome to that. So we're blessed to be able to come out and help him be able to get out safely.
Brown says he is excited to get out and do things for himself again.
I tell you, it's going to help me because when I get ready to come out the house, I can be able to pull myself up and push myself down.
Reporting in Aberdeen, Riley Livingston, WCBI News.
12 projects a year, and they rely on the community and nonprofits to find out who in the community is in need. Well, language is the foundation of learning, and our Educator of the Week is reinforcing that idea with care and compliments. Nikki Smithy teaches 2nd grade at Hadley Elementary School. Right now, the class is learning vowels, blends, and pronunciations. Smithy says teaching kids requires building them up. She also says if you uplift students and show them you believe in them, they'll actually work harder.
I wanted to be in a classroom with kids where sometimes I'm their only hope. If they don't trust you and they're not comfortable with you, then they're not going to work for you. So you just have to really love them and compliment them and build them up.
And if you would like to see your favorite teacher in the spotlight, just visit our website at WCBI.com.
All right, here's a great picture from Eden Lake tonight. Notice how the water is just like glass, light wind, a warm night. But we do have some cooler days ahead, also some rain chances. The full forecast is next.
WCBI's Educator of the Week is brought to you by Food Giant, where your neighbors are the owners. Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Summer weather out here today in Tupelo. Our Alpha Insurance time lapse shows those friendly clouds moving on through, just like the dog days of summer. But it is mid-September. But we got to 98 degrees, a new record high, the hottest day of the year in Tupelo. 98 in Vicksburg, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans at 97 here. And the jet stream is well to the north right now, hence the heat. But this thing is going to buckle down a little bit more to the southeast as we get into the end of next week. So this is the next 10 days here. This is not this Friday. This would be probably next Friday. And that, in theory, would usher in some cooler temperatures with a stronger cold front right there for the end of next week. Maybe a little taste of fall. Finally, a little change of pace once we get into the end of next week. But that's a long ways off. A lot of things can change. So just put that in the back of your mind that things could be changing. Right now for tomorrow, the near-term forecast, things won't be changing. Upper 60s around 7 o'clock. 91 at noon, 94 tomorrow, 86 tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, and mostly sunny to partly cloudy all day long. We're still thinking about 92 to 96 here for our Thursday. Northeast Mississippi, West Alabama, winds from the southeast at 5 to 10. And for you in the Golden Triangle area as well, into the low to mid-90s. So another warm day, probably a few degrees cooler than what we had today. The heat dome was really centered over us today. It's going to shift a little bit more to the east tomorrow, and that will allow for some slightly cooler temperatures, if you can call mid-90s in mid-September cool, but not as extreme. There will be a chance for some strong storms in the upper Midwest tomorrow, and that system will shift to the northeast come Friday. I think we're going to avoid the strong storm threat here, but rain chances will be coming on up. A system is organizing out here across the Four Corners and the upper Midwest. That front will get a little bit closer tomorrow. Can't rule out a little bit of rain in the region, especially just off to our south on Thursday. As we get into our Friday, a chance for a few showers and storms. We're going to keep that rain chance, though, just 30%. So probably not a washout. Let's hope for the best for the high school football games. Higher odds for some showers and storms here as we get into Saturday and Sunday. That front comes on in here. It stalls out. It's really not going to do much for us as far as giving us some significantly cooler air, but it will be closer to average into the mid to upper 80s here, and those rain chances continue next week. There's your 7-day forecast. Quentin?
Well, the votes are in. Find out where the sports crew is heading for the end zone game of the week coming up a little later in sports. Welcome back. Prostate cancer is one of the most common types of cancers affecting men in the U.S., but it's also easily detectable. In tonight's Health Talk with the Baptist, we take a look at some of the more common screening options.
Hi, I'm Ben Woodson, part of the urology team at Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle. Tonight, I'd like to discuss the recommendations for screening for prostate cancer. Screening involves a blood test measurement called the PSA, which stands for prostate-specific antigen, and also involves a digital rectal examination of the prostate. An abnormal PSA can be from several conditions, including infection, prostate enlargement, or cancer. However, the only way to diagnose prostate cancer is by performing a biopsy. A biopsy involves removing tissue from the prostate gland, which will then be reviewed under a microscope to detect any cancer cells. Who should undergo prostate cancer screening? The American Urologic Association recommends screening in healthy men who have at least a 10-year life expectancy. Screening is recommended for men with no symptoms who are between the ages of 55 to 69. African American men and those who have a family history of prostate cancer are considered to be a higher risk, and for those screenings should begin at 40 years of age. Men older than 70 may still benefit from screening if they are healthy and have an over 10-year life expectancy. The decision to undergo prostate cancer screening should involve a discussion with you and your physician. Since the inception of the PSA screening, cure rates and outcomes for prostate cancer have improved dramatically. Join us next time as we discuss treatment options for prostate cancer.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
History is being made in Louisville. The Mississippi State Commit will represent Winston County on the national stage. We'll have that story coming up next in sports. We did a good matchup Thursday, your Jets versus the Cleveland Browns.
You heard it here first. Jets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, blah, 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 blah. Cleveland
Here's WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel.
Yet another Game of the Week poll is in the books. More than 1,100 votes for Week 6. We'll be heading to a battle of undefeateds in 3A. Winona at Water Valley wins our poll, and they are our Game of the Week. Both teams enter the contest 5-0 and have looked really good to start the season. This game has been a constant over the past 9 seasons. Water Valley winning 6 out of the last 9, but Winona has won 2 straight. The next time these two could meet up would be for a 3A state championship, but who will be the first to hand the other its first loss of 2018? We'll find out come Friday. In a storied history of Louisville High School football, the Wildcats never had an Under Armour All-American. Until now. Louisville's defensive end Charles Moore receives his Under Armour All-American jersey, becoming the first Wildcat to earn such an honor. The Mississippi State commit returned from a torn ACL his junior year to lead a Wildcats defense and a team to a 4-1 start and giving up just over 10 points per game. The hard work pays off for Moore, and the humble beast continues to live up to his nickname.
It's truly a blessing, blessing from God. I give him all the credit. Yeah, I feel like I did put in a lot of work to get here, but at the same time, it's just a blessing. Like, I believe he gave me the ability to put in the work and the talent to get here.
I got to know Charles when he was about 6th grade, and he's been a great kid ever since then, because he always thought he could play football. He tried hard playing with the kid. And so now he done moved on up, and when he got 8th grade, he started 8th grade. A great honor for me and for Louisville High School to have somebody of this caliber to be recommended on the Under Armour team. Because right now, it's just a great feeling, and we're proud to be part of his life.
Moore joins Lafayette's Brandon Turnage as Mississippians to receive their All-American jerseys to this point in the season. Tupelo's Ivy Watts has been starting for the Lady Wave softball team since her 7th grade year. She was a part of a fast pitch state title back in 2017, and now she has her slow pitch team off to a red hot start, 13-1 on the season. Our Jonathan Flippo has more with our Student Athlete of the Week.
Tupelo's Ivy Watts has started her senior year swinging. Through 14 games, she's got 36 hits, 38 RBIs, and 18 home runs at the plate. While Watts is slugging it out on the diamond, she's also getting the help from her teachers in the classroom.
The thing I've enjoyed most here at Tupelo is the classes. The teachers make sure that you feel comfortable in each class, and they make sure that everything goes right. You have the right grades. They'll help you out with anything. And I've just really respected those teachers, and I'm very thankful for them.
Maintaining that success in the classroom can be a challenge, especially as an athlete. But Ivy knows that you have to get the grades in order to be successful.
It's a challenge getting home late from games and having to go and study for a class or a test that I have in a class. But you just got to focus and know your priorities, and just make sure you get your studying in.
Watt's success has carried her a long ways to become the player and person she wants to be. Her coach and teammate have seen her take the steps toward becoming a leader.
Anytime you have a desire to be good at whatever you do, you're going to be successful, and she does. She has a desire to be the best and be, one of the top players in the area, and top players, student athletes in the classroom. She loves the game, and all of that translates over to being a good player.
She brightens every room that she walks into, and she's really loud and energetic. I never see Ivy sad or down on herself. She's really nice, and she's really good listener to talk to.
While Ivy takes that leadership role on the team, there is a certain routine that gets her pumped up before game time.
We listen to Pop Danthology. It kind of pumps me up and gets me ready for the game, especially like dance around the locker room with my girls. They're awesome. And just focusing, getting in my game time, just ready to go.
Following high school, Ivy will take her 3.9 GPA and talents to the next level. Watts will continue her slugging career at North Alabama.
The coaches are absolutely fantastic. They're really nice. They're both women, so I'm pretty sure I'll have a great bond with both of them.
Ivy and her team returns to action Thursday when they host Columbus. Reporting in Tupelo, Jonathan Flippo, WCBI Sports.
WCBI Student Athlete of the Week with Jonathan Flippo is brought to you by C Spire, customer inspired.
A local middle schooler's wish is coming true this weekend. Xavier Lane has been fighting blood cancer ever since he was 9 years old. And today, he's cancer-free, and he's getting ready to celebrate. The Make-A-Wish Foundation is sending Xavier and his family to Los Angeles to see music star Jason Aldean in concert. Xavier's mom says Aldean's music helped Xavier get through his treatment. The family will fly out to LA on tomorrow.
All right, weather-wise for us, 94 degrees for your Thursday, 91 Friday, some spotty storms possible. Better rain chances this weekend, along with some cooler air.
So looking at a rainy weekend, Keith?
Probably another washed out, but storms are possible.
There it is. Have a good night, everyone.